2 cars were hired for the tracking and killing of Quando Rondo, but the mistake was that the OTF members used a credit card belonging to Lil Durk's group. These suspected killers also left just enough evidence that has recently been found. Now, police say that the license plates of the cars were fake, but what else was discovered and why have prosecutors slammed new charges on the rapper? Here's how much everything has changed and why what the FBI discovered in Lil Durk's cars. It is no news that Lil Durk has been slammed with more than one felony charge, but what many may not know is how the FBI was able to stick these charges on it. The law enforcement drew the links after an exhaustive investigation, notably involving certain leased automobiles that linked them to the OTF family. The 19-page indictment document stated that the government possessed proof of the colors of the automobiles as well as their passengers. Court papers suggest that all 5 guys accused in the murder for hire cases, specifically Kayvon London Grant, DeAndre Dontrell Wilson, Asa Houston, David Brian Lindsay, and Keith Jones, tailed their target for several hours leading up to the fatal shooting. But first they made a seemingly concrete plan on how to end the life of Quando Rondo inside his black SUV Escalade in Los Angeles, California on August 18, 2022, after booking a room in the Universal City Hotel. Grant rented 2 automobiles from a rental firm. One was a white BMW sedan, while the other was a white Infiniti sedan, both with bogus license plates. Grant, who handled most of the shopping and planning, also contributed the remainder of the crew with firearms, which included fully automatic machine guns. Traveling in the BMW and Infiniti, the suspected killers first trailed Quando Rondo to a downtown hotel where he was staying for his trip to LA, and then on August 19, 2022, the OTF crew tailed Rondo's black Escalade to 2 different locations using the rented white vehicles. The first location was a marijuana dispensary on Flower Street in LA, and later on they tailed their target to a clothing store on Melrose Avenue in West Hollywood, California. During the movement of 3 vehicles, a black Escalade driven by Rondo, a white Infiniti, and a BMW was captured on video as the day unfolded. These cars, seemingly ordinary at first glance, became part of a larger, darker narrative that would later send shockwaves through the community. At the center of this story was Quando Rondo, who, unbeknownst to him, was being followed by a group of suspects with lethal intent. The plot against Rondo began to take shape as the suspected killers tracked his black Escalade to a gas station in Beverly Hills. This marked a crucial turning point in the sequence of events. Houston, one of the conspirators, drove the Escalade to a secluded alley just behind the gas station as outlined in the court filings. Meanwhile, Jones and Lindsay took up strategic positions at a secret distance, preparing to carry out their deadly mission. They had come with one goal in mind: to kill Quando Rondo. The plan was meticulously executed, with live footage showing the shooters positioned at separate spots around the location, each one aiming their weapons with precision. Their faces, concealed beneath ski masks purchased by a man named Grant, added an extra layer of anonymity to the operation. The attackers opened fire, sending multiple rounds in Rondo's direction, fully believing they had completed their task and taken down their target. However, unbeknownst to them, they had missed their mark. Rondo, the young rapper who had been completely unaware that he was being tailed throughout his time in Los Angeles, survived the attack. He remained oblivious to the impending danger as he went about his day, not realizing that a deadly pursuit was unfolding just behind him. The shooters, convinced that Rondo had been hit, fled the scene in the 2 other vehicles, the Infiniti and the BMW, but their mission had failed. They had not killed Rondo, though they believed they had. After the failed attempt on Rondo's life, the group regrouped at a hamburger restaurant in Los Angeles County. This meeting, according to court filings, became a significant point in the investigation. The conspirators, including Jones and Lindsay, discussed their failed attempt with some satisfaction over what they considered a job well done. Payments to Jones and Lindsay were allegedly made, though their actions were far from complete. Further revelations in the court filings painted a chilling picture of the conspirators' next moves. A figure referred to as Conspirator 2 facilitated the purchase of airline tickets for the group, which included Wilson, Jones, Houston, Lindsay, and himself. These tickets were for flights from San Diego to Chicago, with the group departing on the same day as the failed assassination attempt. Once in Chicago, the conspirators would presumably lay low, but their actions were far from over. Meanwhile, the scene in Los Angeles was unfolding in a way no one could have predicted. The shooting had failed, but the investigation was only beginning. The authorities would soon piece together the movements of the conspirators and connect the dots between their planning, execution, and the aftermath of their attempt on Rondo's life. What was once thought to be a simple hit on a rapper had become a complex web of deceit, planning, and failed execution. While the shooters thought they had succeeded, the truth was far different. Quando Rondo, though unaware of the danger he had narrowly escaped, would continue with his life, oblivious to the attempt on his life that had just unfolded. And as the investigation continued, the truth behind the conspiracy would slowly unravel, revealing the intricate details of a plan that had, for all intents and purposes, failed, yet still left a trail of intrigue and danger in its wake. their target while hitting his cousin Lupab, whose real name is Sava Robinson. The pair had just finished pumping gas when they got ambushed by the masked gunman. Quando Rondo immediately reached out to the Los Angeles Police Department, who responded to the scene. Once they arrived, one of the officers tried to move him aside for questioning while the others attended to the injured man. As the officer continued his interrogation, another policeman motioned for the driver to come closer while other officers moved LB's body away from the vehicle. This was the moment the reality of the situation caught up with Quando Rondo, and he exclaimed, "No, no." Sadly, Quando, who did little to contain his emotions, watched his friend die. Sources confirmed that the victim was rushed to the hospital, where he was confirmed dead. At the time, Lieutenant John Radke of the Los Angeles Police claimed that the shooters had fled in a vehicle and the police were yet to decide on the motive for the death. Interestingly, Lobb was brutally killed less than a week before he was scheduled to appear in a Chatham County Superior Court on RICO charges that have been brought against him since 2019. The deceased, alongside 10 other defendants, were accused of going on a 9-month-long crime spree that included burglary, theft, evading the police, and cruelty to children following LPO's death. Quando Rondo shared a since-deleted heartfelt tribute afterward. His representative explained that the rapper did not sustain any injuries during the shooting and that he was safe. However, Quando Rondo wanted his privacy respected. Someone who seemed not to get the memo was Lil Durk, who saw this as the perfect moment to get one over his rival. Shortly after the ugly shooting incident, Durk sensationally released a diss track where he taunted Quando Rondo's reaction to watching his cousin die by multiple gunshot wounds. To the world of drill music, this might have passed on as normal gangster behavior, but according to the investigators, Durk only put the spotlight on himself. In the indictment, the prosecutors claimed that the OTF founder released a song that aimed at commercializing the shooting episode. In the lyrics, Lil Durk referred to a news report that showed Quando Rondo screaming the words "no" as he watched the lifeless body of his cousin being taken out of the car. Later in the song, Durk suggests that he has the exact location of his rival in orders to hit when he raps. "Told me they got an Addy, go. Told me they got low cat, go green light, go, 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 go. Look on the news and you see your son, you're screaming no, N-O. The whole thing begins to make more sense if one decides to look at the alleged the activities of the OTF. Only the family group, led by the infamous rapper Lil Durk, were shrouded in secrecy and violence, with the rapper sitting at the top as the undisputed leader. Prosecutors have painted a chilling picture of the group, describing how Lil Durk would place bounties on certain individuals he wanted dead, using his influence and power to orchestrate violent acts. Those who carried out his orders, according to the authorities, were rewarded with cash payments and, more enticingly, lucrative music deals or other opportunities tied to the OTF brand. This created a deadly cycle in which loyalty to Durk translated into both financial rewards and career advancements, making it simple for the group to attract and manipulate new recruits. However, what Lil Durk did not anticipate was that his empire, built on crime and fear, would eventually unravel. The feds, through a confidential informant embedded within his ranks, began to gather critical information. One of the key figures in this operation was a man known as OTF Jam. Jam, whose real name had not been disclosed, was allegedly a trusted member of Durk's inner circle. He had long been a part of the OTF family, having formed close ties with Lil Durk. The rapper even showed a particular affection for OTF Jam, gifting him thousands of dollars when he was released from prison, helping him get back on his feet after years of incarceration. Sources close to the investigation revealed that OTF Jam's relationship with the OTF group was not as genuine as it appeared. Despite his outward camaraderie with the crew, his true allegiance lay with the feds. Jam had infiltrated the group for the sole purpose of gathering information, and once he had enough intelligence, he provided it to law enforcement, setting the stage for the group's eventual takedown. This revelation sent shockwaves through the OTF organization, as they had unknowingly allowed a spy into their midst. With Jam's information, federal investigators were able to connect the dots and build a solid case against Lil Durk and his associates. On October 24, 2024, the feds moved swiftly, arresting 5 key suspects in Chicago following a 4-count grand jury indictment. As news of the arrest spread, it became clear that Lil Durk was well aware of the looming threat. With the authorities closing in on him, the rapper reportedly devised an elaborate escape plan, hoping to evade capture and continue his criminal empire overseas. He booked 3 separate overseas flights, each intended to lead him to a different destination. One of the tickets was for a one-way flight to Dubai with a connecting stop in Doha, Qatar. Another was for a flight to Switzerland with a layover in New Jersey. The third flight was even more ambitious, a private jet that was scheduled to take him to Italy. Lil Durk's plan to flee the country and avoid prosecution seemed to be set in motion, but his efforts were thwarted at the last moment. Federal agents were on high alert, tracking his every move, and they managed to catch up with him just an hour before his private jet was scheduled to depart. On the morning of his planned escape, Durk was apprehended at Miami International Airport in South Florida. He was quickly detained and taken to the Broward County Jail, where he faced an uncertain future. In an affidavit, FBI agent Sarah Corcoran confirmed that the OTF members were involved in a range of criminal activities, including murder, all at the direction of Lil Durk. According to Corcoran, the group's members followed Durk's demands to maintain their position and relevance within the organization, with many fearing that defying him would lead to dire consequences. As a result, the rapper was immediately charged with murder for hire, along with several other serious charges. Despite his efforts to escape, Lil Durk's fate was sealed when federal authorities brought him into custody. His arrest marked a significant moment in the investigation, as authorities had now gathered enough evidence to pursue him as the lead figure in a dangerous criminal operation. As the legal proceedings unfold, it is clear that Lil Durk's once thriving empire has crumbled, all due to the actions of those who were loyal to him but ultimately betrayed him for a greater cause. Defendant, in an indictment of the previously accused 5 co-defendants, the court contends that if found guilty, these suspects might face a statutory maximum penalty of life in federal prison, while there is still to be a conviction on the murder. For higher allegations slapped against Lil Durk, the rapper now faces more criminal accusations, fresh charges made against Lil Durk. The laugh now cry later rapper who was just smacked with a murder charge now has more to worry about. Remember that the arrest is in relation to a 2022 shooting in a gas station, which is believed to be in retaliation for King Von's 2020 murder, but we will get to that part in a bit. As for the new charges, court documents suggest that he has been charged with a superseding federal indictment with 2 additional felony charges against him apart from the federal murder conspiracy charge. The U.S. Department of Justice said that Lil Durk now faces 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death. The other is an account of utilizing, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun and possession of such firearms and furtherance to a crime of violence resulting in death. Following his previous arrest, a federal magistrate judge in Miami ruled against any bond, and he is currently being held in a Miami jail. This is to stand until the suspect is transferred to Los Angeles, where he will be tried. According to reports, the 5 suspected killers are currently being held in federal custody in Illinois following their initial court appearance in Chicago. They are being charged with 1 count of conspiracy, 1 count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, 1 count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun, and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Although several snitching reports have trailed the group since their arrest, none of the 6 suspects who will be arraigned in Los Angeles in the coming weeks have entered a plea deal, while Durk has spent years vigorously fighting the label that OTF, or Only the Family, has long been linked to violence and criminal activities, and its notoriety continues to grow as the group remains embroiled in one controversy after another. The gang's reputation is tarnished by its involvement in a series of violent acts, with the authorities tightening their grip on the organization as the years go on. Recently, the group has come under fire for its alleged involvement in the assassination of FBG Duck, a rival of Lil Durk. Despite the overwhelming evidence and accusations, Lil Durk has denied any involvement in the murder, a claim that he has made repeatedly. However, federal investigators are far from convinced. They remain confident that Durk and his OTF associates played a crucial role in the killing. David Davis, the deputy director of the FBI's Los Angeles field office, has made damning allegations against the OTF group, accusing them of being responsible for a wide range of violent crimes. According to Davis, the gang has been on a years-long cycle of violence and retaliation, particularly after the murder of King Von, one of Lil Durk's close associates. The attack on Quando Rondo, a rapper linked to Von's murder, is believed to be an act of vengeance by the OTF. As the gang's operations have become more brazen, their involvement in violent incidents has escalated, drawing increasing attention from law enforcement. Investigators have said that the group's motivation for targeting Rondo was likely a form of retribution for King Von's death. The OTF's criminal activities have spread beyond Chicago, drawing the attention of federal agencies and local law enforcement across the country. In Los Angeles, the situation has become so dire that a coalition of police and federal agents has had to work in concert to dismantle the group's operations. Los Angeles Police Chief Dominic Choi addressed the press, noting that the eventual arrest of Lil Durk was the result of collaborative efforts from several agencies. Choi stated that it was the culmination of years of investigation with the U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and the LAPD's Operations West Bureau homicide detectives, all working together to bring down Durk and his crew. Their efforts culminated in the discovery that Durk was directly involved in the murder of an individual known as LB, which is linked to a string of other violent crimes. The murder of King Von, however, stands out as a key turning point in the conflict between OTF and their rivals. The murder, which occurred in 2020, ignited a fierce rivalry between OTF and those affiliated with Von's enemies, particularly Quando Rondo. Initially, there had been no significant animosity between Von and Rondo, but things quickly turned hostile after the tragedy. Despite their shared involvement in the rap scene, the two rappers found themselves on opposing sides in a deadly game of retaliation and violence. What made the conflict even more intense was the role that King Von played in the OTF organization. As one of Lil Durk's closest affiliates, Von's death struck a deep blow to the crew, leading to a surge of aggression directed at those they held responsible. This fueled the gang's growing desire for revenge, and when Rondo became an unintended target in the aftermath of Von's death, it set off a chain of events that only intensified the cycle of violence. Rondo, however, was not entirely unaware of the tension between him and OTF. While things were not always contentious between the two rappers, the dynamics shifted dramatically after Von's passing. It was at this point that the OTF crew, especially Durk, reportedly made moves to eliminate Rondo as part of their wider campaign of retribution. The cycle of violence that followed has now resulted in multiple deaths, including Rondo's close calls, and has placed the OTF firmly in the crosshairs of law enforcement. As investigations into the gang continue to unfold, it has become clear that Lil Durk's influence and his ties to violent criminal activity have escalated the stakes for everyone involved. What was once a group centered around music has now become a deadly organization, tangled in a web of murder, revenge, and retaliation. The authorities are working tirelessly to end the cycle, but for now, OTF's bloody legacy remains an ongoing chapter in the streets of Chicago and beyond. In reality, there are enough photographs and videos of the two rappers cooling down with each other to imply that they were once friends or at least had a mutual regard for one another at the time that Rondo was also a scene of rapper NBA Youngboy's record label, Never Broke Again. First, everything looked fine between all parties, but in the world of drill rap music, nothing stays the same for too long. Obviously, something occurred behind the scenes that caused King Von to take the first shot at Young Kid in an Instagram live video. Could be seen in a car that had a young boy playing in the background, and he said, "Man, what the fuck is YB talking about? Man, he ain't really like that. You got caps in your WS." Although taken as a joke by many, V's utterances sparked an online back and forth between him and Young Boy that soon took a sour turn when V shared a picture of himself and Young Boy's ex-girlfriend Gia. Although Jana tried to calm things down by explaining that they were only doing a song together. Hours later, Young Boy shared a cryptic image with the message saying, "I MMA have my son _ your daughter because you trolling _ Young Boy" would later release a clip with Von's ex, Asan Dal. The collaboration looked to have infuriated the rapper as he went to Twitter with varied amounts of tweets alleging that new _ why all that garbage, try again, MF, and I got some _ on why all baby moms that would make you not want to claim your kids and _ as things got deeply personal. Quando Rondo soon got dragged into the whole beef, and he understandably took the side of his label bar. Before long, Rondo and V were throwing jabs at each other, with each party threatening to beat each other up if they even crossed paths. Well, they finally got their moment when they bumped into each other in the parking lot of Atlanta nightclub Monaco Hookah Lounge on November 6, 2020. Nothing has been revealed of what occurred inside the lounge, but security video plainly showed that Val, who was wearing all white attire, had first assaulted Quando Rondo. He was also involved in with another person from Quando Rondo's side. Regrettably, what began as an ordinary swapping of words between the rappers online swiftly escalated into a fatal gunfight. At some point during the shooting, police officers came and engaged both sides in an attempt to halt the shooting. King Val was miraculously able to leave the scene in a private car. However, he arrived at a hospital seconds later with numerous gunshot wounds. Around 24 hours later, it was revealed that King Val died during surgery. At the time, the police detained and charged Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, an affiliate of Quando Rondo. While he had incurred some injuries during the confrontation and was undergoing treatment in a hospital in Atlanta, he was charged with felony murder, although murder is a non-bondable crime in the state of Georgia. LOL Tim was able to appeal his case to the Superior Court and was given the option of bail after posting a $100,000 bond in April 2021. There was still more good news for Tim, as the accusations against him were ultimately withdrawn in August 2023. His lawyer, Noah Pines, claimed that the prosecutors dropped the charges after he proved that his actions were in self-defense. In the meantime, Quando Rondo went all out with his friendship with Lil Tim. He made a song expressing gratitude while adding that he would die for him, just like how Lil Tim put his life on the line for him when he got attacked by King V. In an interview with DGB Media, Rondo added that they were brothers, highlighting the depth of their cordial connection. "There are a lot of people who go through certain situations, and it doesn't take that much for them to notice is only, yes, we ain't got nobody else, but all this only set a template for the OTF's next line of action. However, to an extent, fans may have also played a key role in how this feud descended into a dark realm. Shortly after King Von's death, fans began to use the hashtag slide for King Von, which was them literally urging Lil Durk to seek out revenge against those they perceived were his killers. While this may have just been the regular online banner for many of the fans pushing the hashtag, Durk's lyrics progressively indicated something ominous headed the way of Rondo in his song Aha. Lil Durk warns Quando Rondo of getting backdoored via his songs. He states, "I can have your friend set you up, he's a middleman in a separate tune." Lil Durk verified that there was a retribution that occurred in the summers, and strangely, El Pab was shot on August 19th. He raps, "Why you all don't play like you ain't who we spanked back in the summertime. Punished him late, but go back ain't have a date cause he don't come outdoors." Dot was shot down on the opposite side. Another detail that points to Lil Durk having a hand in LP Dot's death is a post from a TF member explaining that Lolab died from a headshot wound even before news of his death surfaced. This could only mean that the OTF was there during the shooting or they were actively involved. More recently, Brick Baby, an affiliate of Lil Durk, confidently affirmed that there was no need for fans to keep up with the slide for Von hashtag during an April 2024 interview with DJ Academics. While commenting on the slide for Von hashtag, Brick Baby said, "Oh yeah, SLO4, yeah, they say you can't say that no more. Why? Oh yeah, cause of wait, no, like who did they say you can't say that no more? Oh, cause of FBG Cash, or who N cause little P." Oh, Lil Durk held the same sentiment during his 2023 interview with DJ Academics, the media person. I asked him about the slide for Von hashtags used to suggest a revenge attack, and he confirmed that he didn't see them anymore triggered by the slide from Von comments. I still don't know whether folks still say that. For some reason, I just don't see those comments anymore. For some odd reason, I don't know. At the time of the interview, fans didn't read much into Lil Durk's comments, but after the clip resurfaced following Durk's arrest, fans have been busy connecting the dots. While some of the fans noted that the cold look on Durk's face gave him away, others highlighted the look on the host's face, claiming that it was a moment of realization for them. They believed Durk, claiming he wasn't seeing the comments anymore meant he had done something about it and so had moved on to other things. Unfortunately for Durk's fans, prosecutors seem to have enough material evidence that proves Lil Durk is the #1 guilty party who truly placed a bounty on Quando Rondo's head. The big question is if he will beat this case or be made to face a prison sentence if convicted. Meanwhile, Jones and Houston were scheduled for a hearing this week, while the other 3 OTF members waived their right to a hearing in Chicago, and they will be sent to Los Angeles. Lil Durk is facing life behind bars. As reported earlier, Lil Durk is facing more than one charge after his alleged role in the shooting of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pab. Although all 6 suspects remain in Miami and are yet to be moved to Los Angeles, the OTF founder is with 5 others.